I spent a lot of time researching, creating, and watching digital video for education. So the 7 best practices I'm going to tell you about are based in research, and I'll put the citations below. They can be useful when searching for or creating digital video. Now, not all video you use for your courses need to have all 7 of these best practices. I'm definitely guilty of not using many of these, but it's good to know what they are and to look out for them when you're creating or searching for digital video. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, support content with relevant figures or text. So many studies have demonstrated that students learn better from words and graphics than from just text alone. So for example, videos with figures and graphics that support the content instead of just slides and long lists and walls of text are definitely more effective for learning. And also, graphics for graphics' sake do not improve learning. So in this slide, for example, if I wanted to teach about photosynthesis and the chloroplast, I wouldn't just want to include a random picture in here that I thought was fun. So we're not only looking for engagement, but we're looking for learning in these videos. And where a lot of people go wrong is that they tend to make videos for the engagement side to make them more entertaining than for the learning side, which is what we want to focus on. Number 2, use simple images to illustrate complex ideas. So graphics and videos should be simple because students grasp concepts better when images are simple representations of complex ideas rather than real life pictures or images. So simpler diagrams and images with text that's conveniently located are definitely going to lead to better outcomes in application. So for example, if we have a simple diagram of the steps of mitosis, it's going to be better for the students to learn mitosis this way than through actual pictures of cells actually going through mitosis, and especially at introductory levels. So the caveat here is this may not be as effective for higher level learners or people who are past that introductory point within the content. Number 3, avoid complex and distracting animations. So students are going to understand ideas of systems and processes better when a process is shown in pictorial steps rather than through a complex animation. So by drawing inferences about how each step connects, students are psychologically engaging with the content rather than just passively watching a system occur. And it's been shown that students exposed to effective images or a series of effective images rather than complex images or animations are going to remember the content better and perform better on assessments. The exception here is that when you're trying to show a process or a procedure, animations may be helpful. So for example, the proper use of a laboratory technique. Number 4, only deliver essential information. So I know this one's hard, but students have been shown to learn better when presented with words as speech rather than extra on-screen text. So if students are exposed to text, narration, and images all at the same time, they're not going to learn or retain the content as well as students exposed to text or narration combined with images. So we want to minimize that extraneous processing that decreases learning, and so you should pay attention to how you introduce your content. So make sure you're avoiding redundant delivery with extra words, graphics, or details. So for example, you might want to encourage your students to watch videos without subtitles or captions, especially if your slides already include narration and text and images in your video. So this does not apply to language learners. I want to make that clear that it has been shown that subtitles and extra text can be helpful there, but for learners who have a good grasp of the English language, you want to make sure they're not having to direct their attention to the subtitles and back to the screen and back to the words that you're saying in the video. Number 5, support new ideas with appropriate text. So another way to minimize extraneous processing is to put words and pictures together, close together on the screen. So for an image on a slide illustrating a particular process, so for example, an enzyme interacting with a substrate and then changing into its products, the text describing each step of the process should be placed as close to the image as possible instead of as just a footnote on the bottom of the slide or in a separate location. But it's important to avoid complete minimalism in videos too, so don't delete all your text. New vocabulary and technical words are definitely going to support learners, especially in science. All right, number 6. This one is a little controversial and there's research that disagrees on this, but I'm going to recommend, if you can, have an instructor present in the video. So this can help increase attention, recall, and perceived learning in digital videos, but it might have a stronger effect on engagement than actual learning, but it can still lead to students' increased attention toward the videos and immediate content recall. So the benefit is strongest when students can see the instructor for most of the video, but again, there's some debate that exists with respect to the instructor and too many delivery channels, and students might direct more attention to the instructor than to the content and the information. But instructor presence has also been correlated with increased student satisfaction and perceived learning. So if educators are careful to select videos that follow the other best practices in this list, instructor presence can be beneficial. Number 7, keep videos short. All right, so this one is really hard, I know, but students will stay engaged with videos for relatively short periods of time, and selecting videos that are short can definitely help students pay attention and learn the content better. So digital videos 6-ish minutes or shorter have been shown to foster the highest level of engagement among learners. You can stretch it to 10-ish if you want, but again, this is going to differ for different levels of learners, different age groups, and so just be mindful of the length of your video, and if you are getting a little long-winded or you find a video that's extra long, make sure you chunk it into segments or tell students to watch particular parts for particular learning goals. So those are the 7 best practices to look for that I think there is really great research for. I've done a lot of work with the digital video creation, and if you're interested in learning more, I have a chapter I've written for an iBook for one of my graduate courses. I'll post a link to that work below. I'll also post a link to a lot of the research on these topics. And please share this video around. There's lots of teachers working with digital video these days. Thanks so much for watching.